Well, it's been years since the heyday of single movie theaters in town, replaced by multiplexes that often sit outside city limits. But one Wabash Valley town is going back in time and banking on an old theater to rebuild their downtown. News 10's Matt Gregory reports.
It's several hours before showtime, but a small line is already outside the Tivoli Theater in Spencer, Indiana. Inside, the popcorn is getting ready to pop, and when this curtain draws, it'll be like a window back in time.
We're the sequel of the 1928, so we're showing the prequel of Oz the Great and Powerful.
Built in 1928, the Tivoli Theater was the dream of an American sculptor and Spencer native, Ernest Vi Quesney.
This was his dream. He felt like his community was traveling too far for their entertainment to Crawfordsville or Greencastle or Bloomington.
From that opening night, the Tivoli Theater would remain a staple of the town for the next 70 years, even surviving 3 fires, only to have its final act in 1999. That is, until April of last year, when the medical company Cook Group's chief architect got involved.
On behalf of their employees of Spencer, they decided to finance and create this restoration.
When they began the remodel in the Tivoli Auditorium, they only had 2 pictures to go off, but it's from those 2 old photos that they were able to return it to as close to its original form as possible. And it worked, because if you sit back in one of the chairs and you look up, you feel like you're watching an old film.
It's not your theater that you're used to in the 70s and the 80s of going into that box. There's a history here, there's atmosphere here.
Small pieces of the original theater are strung throughout, from 6 of the original chairs to some of the first lighting fixtures and even the stars in the sky, set out across the ceiling according to the star pattern from the very night the Tivoli opened more than 80 years ago.
It's just, you don't see places like this anymore, and it's very fortunate that this was saved.
And for many, they may have to wait longer to see it. You see, the Tivoli is already a bit of a success, selling out all of their weekend shows. But what else would you expect from a theater that, when read backwards, reads, "I love it, Tivoli." In Spencer, Indiana, with photojournalist Gary Bryan, Matt Gregory, News 10.
The original Tivoli Theater cost around $45,000 to build. The remodel was around $4 million.